Hello everyone, Science Spot is a podcast that shines a spotlight on the latest scientific technology from Japan. Your host is Ryan from Science Talk. Now, have you ever felt extremely nervous or choked when performing in front of people? Maybe for a test presentation, a speech, or an important game? This feeling, often called stage fright, is a very common human experience, and it's incredibly prevalent in the world of music. Today, I'm going to talk about a study that scientifically explains and helps us tackle this phenomenon, academically known as music performance anxiety, or MPA. First, let me introduce you to the Science Podcasts. This episode is part of a monthly project where Japanese science podcasters discuss a common theme. This time, our host is 工業高校農業部, which is Industrial High School Agriculture Club in English, and the theme is stress. And I decided to cover musical stress for this episode. Also, I recently appeared on Nippon Broadcasting's music talk show, Tokyo Music Institute, which I'll tell you more about at the end of this episode. But for now, let's dive into today's main topic. Music performance anxiety, or MPA, is often thought of as just a mental state, but its effects actually reach deep into the quality of a performance. It's known to trigger both psychological and physiological reactions, like a drop for concentration or a racing heart. And imagine trying to give your best performance in front of a large audience, but your hands are trembling, your breath is unsteady, and you can't produce the sound you want. It's incredibly frustrating for any musician. One survey even found that a staggering 70% musicians have experienced MPA. It's a very rare and widespread challenge for them. The degree of MPA and how it affects performance varies greatly from person to person. That's why accurately assessing and understanding each individual's unique MPA is crucial for figuring out its mechanisms and developing effective training methods. For a long time, the most widely used psychological tools to measure MPA internationally has been the Kenny Music Performance Anxiety Inventory Revised, or KMPAI-R. Developed in 2009, this questionnaire has been translated into 22 languages and serves as a global standard for understanding musicians' MPA. You can think of it like a global thermometer for MPA, just as our thermometer helps us consistently measure body temperature worldwide. Surprisingly, however, there was no Japanese version of the KMPAI-R until now, nor had its validity been properly tested in Japanese. This means that Japanese musicians lacked a standardized tool to accurately measure their stage fright against international benchmarks. But that has changed. A research group from University of Tokyo, the Graduate School of Frontier Sciences, stepped up and they created a Japanese version of this international standard questionnaire, the KMPAI-R, and rigorously validated its reliability and validity. First, the team translated the original version into Japanese. Then they conducted interviews with 7 musicians, including both professionals and amateurs. This was a crucial step not just to directly translate, but to ensure the Japanese version sounded natural and felt appropriate to musicians' experience. Based on these interviews, the draft Japanese version was refined. Next, They collected responses from a wide range of musicians in Japan using this revised Japanese version. 200 professional musicians and 200 amateur musicians, totaling 400 participants. The group included 309 instrumentalists and 91 vocalists, covering various musical fields. This diverse samples ensured that the data would be highly reliable and applicable to Japanese musicians as a whole. Finally, they used statistical methods to scientifically confirm that the questionnaire was indeed an effective measuring tool. And the two crucial aspects were verified: reliability and validity. Reliability refers to how consistently a measurement tool assesses what it's supposed to measure. Think of a bathroom scale. If you step on it multiple times and get wildly different readings, you wouldn't trust it, right? Similarly, for a questionnaire, we want to know if its questions consistently work together to measure the same thing. And this Japanese version showed a very strong value of 0.93 on something called the Cronbach's alpha coefficient. This coefficient ranges from 0 to 1, with values closer to 1, indicating higher reliability. 0.93 means that the individual questions within the Japanese are highly consistent and they work together effectively to measure music performance anxiety, confirming its high reliability. Next, validity. This is about whether the tool truly measures what it intends to measure. It's further divided into two types: construct validity and criterion-related validity. Construct validity examines whether the questionnaire genuinely measures the different aspects that make up music performance anxiety. The study used a statistical method called exploratory factor analysis. This method helps discover hidden common patterns or group among many questions. For instance, it can reveal if a set of questions primarily measures physically anxiety symptoms. The analysis showed that the factor structure of Japanese questionnaire was very similar to the original version. This means the Japanese version accurately measures the same underlying concepts as the original questionnaire. And next, criterion-related validity. This checks how well scores from the new questionnaire correlate with scores from other already established and validated similar questionnaires. It's like asking, does our new measuring type give similar results to other trusted measuring types? The KMPAIR Japanese version showed a strong correlation 0.67 with state trait anxiety inventory, and which measures general anxiety, and 0.75 with the performance anxiety questionnaire, another tool for performance anxiety. These high correlation coefficients and are strong evidence that the Japanese version is appropriately measuring MPA and aligns well with the existing anxiety measures. Through these rigorous validations, this Japanese version has been proven to be the first standardized, reliable, and valid psychological tool for measuring MPA in Japanese musicians. So this version marks a significant step forward for the Japanese music community. And we can now expect more detailed research using this tool, targeting musicians across various instruments, musical genres, and experience levels. This will pave the way for developing effective, evidence-based strategies and interventions in music education and mental health support for musicians. And so, what do you think? I hope this discovery changes your perspective on stage fright and enhances your understanding of musicians' challenge. Again, just a quick announcement. This episode is a part of Science Podcast Day, an event featuring mostly Japanese language science podcasts. You can find the Spotify playlist with all participating shows in the episode description. Also, Nippon Broadcasting's show, Tokyo Music Institute, is out today. Both Japanese and English versions are available. The English version was created with AI and is quite interesting, so be sure to check it out. And this podcast is broadcast daily on weekday morning in both Japanese and English. I'd love for you to listen to the podcast and post your notes and thoughts with the hashtag ScienceBot. Tomorrow I'll be temporarily returning to Japan from London, so I might only be able to broadcast this episode, I think. I think the next episode will be available next week, so you can review the past episode or another podcast. My other podcasts from Science Talk or Science Mania in Japanese, and check the description box. See you next time.